This is Greg Broyles, and I'm here with Susan Graham. Susan is one of the organizers of the I-45 Coalition, which has been fighting a long battle with the Texas Department of Transportation to stop the expansion of Interstate 45, and I'll let Susan take it from here. She can tell you why this is a very important issue to all Houstonians.
Hi, I'm Susan Graham, and our mission for Stop Textile I-45 is to basically send TxDOT back to the drawing board, come up with a plan that addresses the structural issues and the design issues that need to be fixed, and not widen the footprint or the right-of-way of the existing I-45. And the reason for that is that it's going to be negatively affecting all the neighborhoods between the Beltway and downtown negatively. And most of those neighborhoods are primarily middle to low income neighborhoods, mainly people of color. And so one of our other issues is environmental injustice. We feel like that once again, the neighborhoods in the urban core are being torn apart by freeway construction, barriers put between neighborhoods, and all of this will be for the benefit of the people who choose to live in the outlying areas, such as Katy, the Woodlands, Kingwood, out farther, so that they can get into the city faster. And the effect on these neighborhoods, the displacement, the job loss, the pollution, the noise, and the people that will lose their homes. And a lot of those people have lived in these neighborhoods for generations, and they probably own their homes. And yes, TxDOT will negotiate with them. However, they probably will not get enough money for their current properties to be able to stay in the neighborhoods in which they have been there for generations. So they will be displaced out to the suburbs in areas where they have no access to transit, areas where a lot of the social services that they depend on are not going to be there. And they will get no benefit from the I-45 expansion. All the inner city neighborhoods, all along the I-45 corridor, all the way to the Beltway, will only have negative effects from this project. We'll be cut off from neighborhoods, we'll have increased pollution, we'll have more flooding. There's just no benefit to these neighborhoods. So that's why we decided to get involved in this discussion and in this fight. And we feel like we're doing a good job. We feel like that we're one of the organizations that's helped change the narrative from the I-45 expansion to the controversial I-45 expansion. And we're going to continue forward through the September meetings, through the election, to the campaign issues with the election, and into 2020 when the environmental impact statement comes out. So.
Can you tell us, you told me earlier that the city's promised vouchers to people who will lose access to their homes. You told me that some of these vouchers are insufficient, or what else did you say?
People that currently live in Section 8 housing with the city of Houston are going to be given vouchers if their apartment complexes are going to be torn down, to move to new Section 8 housing. However, there's very little affordable and low-income housing available in the city of Houston, so more than likely these people will not have a place to go. We still have Harvey people that have not been rehoused, and Harvey was 3 years ago. So most of these people will either be displaced from their neighborhoods or basically will be homeless. So it's a problem.
You have Link Houston and Air Alliance Houston have done studies on this, and what are some of the numbers of job losses?
I don't have those numbers in front of me, but it's
I heard 24,000
Yeah,
jobs.
24,000. I think 373 people will be displaced as well.
Okay.
And most of those are going to be small businesses, people working for small businesses that are going to not be able to withstand the construction along I-45 and the inability for people to be able to get to those businesses during the construction phase.
And those impacts are for the one segment from Beltway 8 to the Loop, or from the Loop to downtown, or is it for the whole project?
Total numbers are for the loop to downtown for all three segments.
Okay, so that's just one part of this project.
And
Okay,
here we're here tonight just to talk about segment 1, which is from a little bit outside 610 to the Beltway, which is going to take the most right away and displace the most businesses and most homes. Segment 2 probably has the least loss out of the three segments.
I've been noticing that you've spent a great deal of time with HGAC. I'm surprised that the live stream from the last meeting has not been posted yet. Maybe you can comment on that, and then also maybe you can comment at what level can voters be most effective? Is this something where a city council member has some muscle, or is it mostly commissioners, or at what level should people?
Well, I think all levels. I think that Sheila Jackson Lee is a very much a powerful ally in this fight, and she does have some control over the money, the federal money that is going to be needed for this project. I feel like that our mayor is another person that we need to be talking to and calling and emailing. Also, our council members, especially the ones at large, and the ones for District H and District D.
D.
And then also Adrian Garcia and Rodney Ellis's office, the commissioners that are along this corridor. Both of them have expressed concerns, and the more we contact them, the more that we email them, that we call them, and let them know that this is something that we really are very concerned about. That will support them in their efforts. So I think it's federal, state, and I think, we need to, Carol Alvarado, my state senator, has expressed grave concerns, sent in a letter for delay the vote at the Houston Galveston Area Council, and also we have Sylvia Garcia and the U.S. House of Representatives supporting Sheila Jackson Lee as well. So I think we have to do this from federal to state to city and to Harris County,
Okay.
all levels. And we're getting ready to post on our Facebook page and on our website a list of all of those people with their contact information, because a lot of people can't come out to these meetings and they can't volunteer. They've got kids to take care of and 2 jobs to work. So we wanted to give them a way to have their voice heard and also not have to come out to do this kind of stuff.
Okay, so one thing Indivisible Houston is doing is trying to mobilize canvassers, voters, and so are there some take-homes that people can bring with them to as they walk out and canvass for various candidates? Things that you think are essential for a candidate to stand for related to this issue?
I think it's really essential that candidates really look very carefully at the displacement issue of their citizens that are going to be in their district, and make sure that the people that are having to negotiate with TxDOT for their properties, who may or may not have ever done this in their lives, has adequate representation, that they have attorneys, that they have social workers helping them with trying to decide can they move to another place with the amount of money that TxDOT's going to be giving them, making sure that they're getting fair market value for their homes. TxDOT has a history of lowballing people on their offers, and with their Section 8 housing, they need to have social workers, and they need to have all kinds of help with finding another place to go. And there is some opportunity for renters to even get some compensation and to make sure that they're aware of their rights. So even if we can't, stop the displacement, at least we make sure that the people that are highly impacted by this are taken care of and assisted. I wouldn't have any idea, and I have a college degree, how to negotiate with TxDOT. So I think most of the people that are going to be impacted along the I-45 corridor are not going to be informed enough to be able to make decisions, not because they're not smart, but because this is something we don't do every day.
Okay.
So,
I guess tell me quickly if you can. This goes from Beltway 8 to downtown, and then it's going to move towards the east side of downtown. So coming from Beltway 8 to the 610 loop, which neighborhoods will be impacted? I know Independence Heights is going to lose homes.
well, the east end will lose property and homes.
Okay.
The east side. The near north side will lose property and homes. Independence Heights will lose property and homes, and more on segment 1 will be business loss, a little bit more closely to what we saw on the Katy Freeway. But from Independence Heights into downtown, this will be residential property. This will be people that will be displaced.
Okay.
And it doesn't help that it's businesses. It just has less of a personal impact on people, but they may lose their jobs because the businesses are going to be impacted. And I know that Jim McInvale at Gallery Furniture is very concerned about this, even though he personally will not be impacted. He knows a lot of the business owners around him, and they're going to be impacted, and he's been doing some work in that area. So.
Okay. Any other statements, Susan, for this?
Well, I feel like that another thing I want to talk about is that this project is not innovative. This project's not going to be finished for 10, 15 years. And the city of Houston has to become a less automobile-dependent city. And the fact that this freeway that won't even really be finished until 10, 15 years from now doesn't have any access to public transit besides bus rapid transit. That's not acceptable in the city of Houston. We are known for our innovation, and this is just the same old. We learned from the Katy Freeway that the whole reason for doing this is to reduce congestion, according to TxDOT, and it will not reduce congestion. So we're displacing people out of their homes, we're increasing noise pollution, we're walling off neighborhoods with noise barriers, and to fix a problem that it won't fix. Katy Freeway is just as congested as it was before. Anyone that's ever had a basic class in traffic and urban planning knows that if you build the freeway wider, just more people drive on it, and then it becomes as congested as it was before. So this is not innovative. We need to be looking at public transit. We need to be looking at commuter rail. We need to be looking at all kinds of progressive and innovative ideas to figure out how we're going to live in this city of Houston and actually be able to enjoy our quality of life and not destroy our environment.
I remember the Katy Freeway was initially we were told that it was going to be around a $1.1 billion project, and when it was finished, it was $2.8 billion to taxpayers. I know HGAC just voted to give $100 million as kind of a interest, or what would you call it, a down payment on what is it, a $7 billion projection? And do you have any numbers for estimates what that will really cost down the road to taxpayers?
No, I do not. I do not have that information.
Okay, but hugely expensive.
Hugely expensive. I know that TxDOT money cannot be spent for other things. If you think about all the things that the city of Houston needs, and the wonderful green spaces and beautiful parks and great schools and beautiful bayous that we could do with $7 billion. It just makes you really sad. So,
What about I've heard 26 schools and daycares that will be impacted, and there's one elementary in the fifth ward
report,
that's gonna have the
500
freeway right.
500 feet. And Airlines has done studies, and on that, because TxDOT says that it's going to be a net positive effect on the city of Houston when it comes to pollution. However, that's based on the fact that they also they use the premise that the congestion will be less. However, even if that's the case, which we know it won't be, the areas along the I-45 corridor the pollution will increase, and we already have elevated rates of asthma in the inner city. And their solution to that is to put in better air conditioners in the schools and to put in, insulate the windows. But these kids, all in my neighborhood, these kids walk to school. So even if they do something with the school, these kids are going to be impacted walking to and from school, and more than likely in their homes. So, that's not a mitigation that's going to fix but a little bitty piece of the problem.
Are you aware of, if we all remember Rita, if there's another evacuation order? Has a study been done on the impact of this on that? Let's say, for example, the Gulf municipalities, Texas City and places like that have to evacuate. Where are they going to go?
I don't know if there's been any studies, and none of the commissioners on the Houston Galveston Area Council that would be impacted by that voted against the funding. We're going to have a below grade piece of this freeway, and they say that they'll have adequate pumps to be able to pump out that. But in the case of a hurricane, when we may or may not have power, I don't know what's going to happen, because people may or may not be able to get out of the Gulf Coast areas from Galveston, League City, Kemah, around in there, up north, because we're 45 and 59, and all of that's going to be all connect up together. So there'll no longer be a way to go around.
Okay.
So,
are there going to be some meetings in the future where stakeholders can interact with office holders?
Our election committee is meeting this coming Wednesday night. We're going to be present at all campaign forums and submit questions. And everyone that we are aware of and that we will be participating in will be posted on our website and on our Facebook page. So I encourage people that are concerned about this issues to make sure that they are at campaign forums, that they're talking to the people that are running for office, and asking them these questions about what their particular concern is. Because I think the fact that this is happening right now, and we have municipal elections coming up in November of 2019, offers us an amazing opportunity to be able to make this a campaign issue, hold our political candidates and elected officials that are running for office again to their feet to the fire with these questions, and make sure that they are aware of this project, because it's going to directly affect the I-45 corridor, but it's going to affect the whole city, because it's going to my neighborhood. We have this beautiful view of downtown Houston that will be destroyed.
Okay.
We will be cut off from we'll be cut off from the East End. We'll be cut off from the Heights. We'll be isolated in our neighborhoods. Our access and entrances to our neighborhoods will be decreased, because the whole purpose of this is to get people from the Woodlands into downtown quicker. So it's going to be a throughway through the city of Houston, and with very little attention given to the people that actually live in the areas that are along the throughway through the city of Houston and down through downtown. So I think the election offers a great opportunity for people to really have a voice, because up until now we haven't really had a voice. TxDOT keeps saying it doesn't have enough information. Well, I think they've gotten lots and lots and lots of information, but they're choosing not to respond to it, and they keep saying that it will be in the environmental impact statement in 2020. And by then it'll be too late to really make any changes to this project. I am encouraged by the fact that the city of Houston has hired the Design Center at the University of Houston and Hewitt Zeller, Christoph Spieler. I'm encouraged by that because I feel like both of those entities are highly respected in the city of Houston. And I feel like that they will not participate in a project where TxDOT doesn't listen to the feedback that they give them. So I am encouraged. It's the one thing that I've been really encouraged about. I feel like these meetings are kind of a waste of time. I feel like that they're really set up to favor TxDOT, and that they're going to say they met with the community. And so they've done their due diligence, but it doesn't feel like that the information that they're being given in these meetings is actually being heard. So, but I'm glad that people show up. I'm really disappointed at the turnout tonight. I think maybe we have maybe 100 people here for lucky. And so most of the people along segment 1 probably don't know what's happening. They have no awareness of what's going to happen, and then they're going to be blindsided by TxDOT coming and trying to take their property away from them.
And segment 1 you're referring to is 45 north from Beltway 8 to 610?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a little confusing on the maps. I think Independence Heights is actually technically in segment 2, but for ease of purpose, it's Beltway to 610 is segment 1. 610 to basically University of Houston downtown, right around there, is segment 2, and then segment 3 is the downtown area. And the downtown area does stand to benefit somewhat from this project, but the rest of the areas will not.
Okay. Well, thank you for this interview, and we will probably do another one with you. I'm definitely going to, when I post this, I'll link to your Facebook page just to get people aware. I've been trying to talk to Indivisible people myself and alert them to this huge change in the way Houston is going to live and work.
Right.
But anyway, I appreciate your...
Like Lena Hidalgo said at the HGAC TPC meeting, she meets with business leaders all the time that won't come to Houston because their employees want public transit. They want to live in walkable neighborhoods. They want to live in walkable spaces. They don't want to be driving their cars from way out in the woodlands into downtown to be able to afford to buy a home. That's not the city of the future, and that's what we're just reinforcing the bad things about the city of Houston in this project.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.